Hello everyone, I hope you guys are enjoying in your life. And again today I am here with a new JavaScript tutorial. And today we will be covering callbacks, promise, async and await. So those who have not subscribed the channel, please subscribe the channel. And this tutorial is very important for everyone. Try to watch it till the end of this lecture. And if you have any doubts, then please do comment in the comment section. If you are able to understand it properly, then believe me, your JavaScript will be on the top notch, and you can say that you have a good command on JavaScript. So let's start the tutorial. तो शुरू करते हैं आज का टॉपिक. Alright, so before starting the topic, let's have a look at some important points, okay? And then we will dive into our topic. So before we start the callback, promise and async await, let us know what synchronous and asynchronous operation is and one important function, set timeout. So first we see synchronous. So suppose someone asks you to count number from 1 to 10, then how you will count it? You will simply say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and up to 10 like this, right? So this is a synchronous way of counting a number. 1, then second, then third, then fourth, then fifth and so on. And another example for synchronous operation is if we take it from our daily life example. So suppose you are in a queue in a bank, then the person standing in front of the queue will be served first, right? Then second person will be served, then third person will be served and so on like this. So what I mean to say is first process will be completed, then second process will be completed, then third, then fourth and so on. So this is what your synchronous operation is. So if we see a program for it, so here is a general example for synchronous operation. In previous tutorials also we have done this. So let us see this. So एक वेरिएबल लेते हैं const item name का, okay, array type का वेरिएबल है. Now let's have some elements in it. So suppose toy, back, ball, okay, it has 3 elements. और इसको हम लोग प्रिंट करा लेते हैं. ओके, सो कंसोल डॉट लॉग, सो आइटम एट 0 पोजीशन, ओके, कंसोल डॉट लॉग आइटम एट फर्स्ट पोजीशन, ओके, एंड कंसोल डॉट लॉग आइटम एट second position. Now if we run this, you will see all items are print one after other, right? Toy, bat and ball. So this is a synchronous way of getting your output. Means पहले line number 2 execute हुआ, then line number 3 execute हुआ, then line number 4 execute हुआ, right? Alright guys, so this is the output for our program and we get this output very fast, right? Now I am going to show you if I create a function which delay this program, and then you will understand why asynchronous programming is better than synchronous programming. So suppose I create a function here, counter, okay, and inside it I am creating one for loop. So for I equals 0, I less than 1 e9, okay, which is 1 billion, and I plus plus. So this for loop will go for 1 billion times and I am giving a empty body to it, okay, and here I am logging one statement. So console.log counter running is finished, okay. So here is our program and now I will call this counter function here. So counter, now I'm going to run this program and you will see that after this line number 7 the program will wait for some time and then it will give rest of the output. So run it. So I have my first output and you can see it is waiting for this counter to complete, and here is the output now. So if in real world programming, if we are going to use this type of synchronous operations, then we have to wait for this type of functions to get them complete and then rest of the statements will be run, right? So to overcome all these constraints, we have a better option which is asynchronous programming. So now let us see what asynchronous is. Alright guys, so the next is asynchronous. And here I am taking a daily life example. So suppose you are going to mail someone, okay, and you send it. So this is your first mail and you send it to someone, okay. Now this person is not necessary is currently online available to you so that he can reply you back, right, at the current moment. Now suppose you have to mail some other person also. So you will start composing another mail and send it to that person. right? So this is your second mail. Same will be the case for this person also. Maybe this person is present online or not, you don't know, and you will get the reply at the current moment or not, you don't know. But you can see here that when you mail and send, you can simultaneously compose two mail, right, without waiting for the reply, and you can compose as much as mails you want to, right, without waiting for the reply from other side. So this process of mailing is called as asynchronous operation, right, where you mail to someone and you don't wait for it to reply you back, and you start doing some other work, or you mail to some other person and same, you are not waiting for the reply. So this type of process is called asynchronous. So when you do asynchronous programming, if some code is running and it is taking some time, okay, suppose 5 seconds, then you don't have to wait for this 5 seconds, you are simply running your other task, okay, and then after 5 seconds this task will be completed, you will get the output for this task also, okay. So in our programming we will use set timeout function, okay, and it takes two parameters, function and delay. It also takes arguments, but currently we will use only two parameters, okay. Now this function is any anonymous function, or it can be any named function, okay, and this delay is your time in millisecond. Now why we are taking this time in millisecond? Because if we have to work for suppose half second, so we cannot write like this as a fractional value for second, right, in our coding. So what we do, we convert this half second to millisecond, which is 500 millisecond. So these values should be in integer form, okay. And if we want any argument to pass in the set timeout, then we use our third parameter, which is argument, okay. So we will use this set timeout for showing delay of some operations during callback, promise, and async await. So let's dive into our main topic now. Alright guys, so before diving into our main topic, let us see what set timeout is. So I am deleting this function from here. So we have this much of our code, and now I'm writing one function here, message, okay. So let us log some message here, console.log, and here is the quite famous dialog of Iron Man, I love you 3000. And now I am calling set timeout method, so set, and here we pass the function name, which is message, okay, and then we pass the number of seconds in milliseconds, which is 5 seconds. So here is our complete program, and now we will run this. So run the code, and you will see that all these log statement will get executed 2 3 4. So you can see, and after 5 seconds we will have this. Our message statement. So this is the use of set timeout. It doesn't block your rest of the program, okay, as we have got all the output here. It only delays your get function, which you pass as a parameter to it, okay. So we have passed message here, so it was delayed by 5 seconds, and we are going to use this to simulate the behavior of delay for callback, promise, and async await. Alright guys, so here is the intro to callback. So callbacks are functions that are passed as arguments to other functions. These passed-in functions are intended to be executed once the containing function completes its execution or reaches a certain point in its execution. Callbacks are used to handle asynchronous operations, okay. So suppose if we have a function sum and it has some argument, suppose my callback, this function has some body also, okay. Here is the line of code for sum. Now this sum is your first function which will execute first, okay, and after it your second function, which is my callback, will get executed. So when we pass any function as argument in a main function, then the function passed as a argument is called callback function, okay. So callback क्या होता है, जब हम किसी फंक्शन के अंदर, ओके, इस फंक्शन के अंदर किसी और फंक्शन को एज ए आर्गुमेंट पास करते हैं. सो जो फंक्शन हमने एज ए आर्गुमेंट पास किया, यानी इसको माई कॉलबैक, ये फंक्शन हमारा callback function कहलाता है, okay. Now let us see the code for it. Alright class, so let us write our program for callback. So I'm going to take a function, okay, show message, and inside it I'm passing my callback. So my callback function, okay. Now I am going to write the body of this show message. So console.log, I'm printing a simple message here, hi class, okay. So this is a simple function which take my callback function as a parameter, okay, easy. Now what I'm going to do is I'm writing another function, ready class, okay. So here I will write another statement, console.log, and here the statement is, are you ready to explore callback promise and async await, okay. Now see, what I want to do is I want this ready class function as to be my callback function, okay. So I will pass this ready class in this show message function as a parameter. So when I will pass this as a parameter, I am going to call it here, okay, my callback function like this, and here I will call show message and pass ready class here, that's it, okay. So this is your simple callback function. So क्या किया हमने, एक फंक्शन बनाया show message, उसके अंदर callback function का पैरामीटर पास कर दिया, जिसका नाम हमने क्या रखा, my callback, ओके। और यहाँ पे हम लोग ब्रैकेट्स का यूज नहीं करते हैं, वाई, बिकॉज हम जब भी आर्गुमेंट पास करते हैं किसी फंक्शन के लिए, देन वी पास इट एज ए रेफरेंस ऑफ ए फंक्शन, okay. If we pass this bracket, then it means हम पूरा function as a argument execute करा रहे हैं, okay, and this will cause an error. So we pass the reference of our function, okay. Reference simply means we are passing the definition of our function, okay. Definition is this much part is the definition of our ready class function. So in show message हम लोगों ने एक स्टेटमेंट लॉक कराई है, हाई क्लास, सो ये रन होगी पहले, देन कॉल बैक फंक्शन, एंड सी यहाँ पे हम लोगों ने ब्रैकेट का यूज किया, वाई, बिकॉज हमें यहाँ पे अपना कॉल बैक फंक्शन कॉल कराना है, ओके। सो हम लोगों ने यहाँ पे कॉल बैक फंक्शन को कॉल किया, और कॉल बैक में हम लोगों ने किसे पास किया है, रेडी क्लास का रेफरेंस, राइट, इस फंक्शन का रेफरेंस पास किया यहाँ पे। सो दिस फंक्शन विल गेट एग्जीक्यूट। सो पहले हमें हाई क्लास आउटपुट मिलेगा, एंड आफ्टर दैट नेक्स्ट आउटपुट, आर यू रेडी टू एक्सप्लोर कॉल बैक प्रॉमिस एंड, ओके। सो रन दिस। So here is the output, right? Hi class, are you ready to explore callback promise and async await, okay. Alright guys, so here is the next program for callback, and let us make it a little bit tough, okay. So what we are going to do is we will pass a number in our function and get the square of it, okay. So here is the function show square, okay, and in this function we are passing two parameters, num and our my callback, okay. So num will hold the number which we will pass for squaring it, okay, and my callback will hold the reference of callback function, okay. Now let us write the body of our function. So we have to square the number, so what we will do, num into num, right, and now we have to store the result of this num into num in some variable. So let us take it const result, okay. So this will give the square of number, and its value will get stored in result, and now we will call our callback function in the next line. So my callback, and inside it we will pass this result, okay. So why I have passed this result here, because I want my callback function to display this result on the console, okay, or you can say with the help of this my callback function we are going to display the result on console, okay. And now we will write definition of our callback function. So function, okay, display square, okay, and inside it we pass result as a parameter. Now our statement console.log, because we want to display the result on console with the help of this callback function. So console.log using backtick, and inside backtick we write our statement, result of the squared number is, then dollar sign, curly brace, and we pass result, okay, semicolon in the end. So this is your callback function in the next line. So we can comment here callback function, okay. Now let us call our main function, which is show square, and inside it let us pass the number, suppose 7, and your callback function name, which is display square, okay. So now let us run the code. So here is the output. Result of the square number is 49. Okay. So what we did here is we have a function called show square, and in it we pass two parameters, num, which is a simple variable, and my callback, which is a function argument. Then we have our body of show square function. Okay. Inside this show square function we pass our callback function, and in the callback function we pass result as a argument to get it displayed. Now we have our callback function display square, so it is taking result as a parameter. Okay, and here is a log statement which display the result, and on line number 10 we have called our show square function and pass the parameters value 7 and display square. Okay, so I hope callback is clear. Now we will do this program with the help of promise. Okay, and see the difference between callback and promise. Alright guys, so till now we have been using callback in our programs, right? But there is a problem when callbacks are used in a nested form, and that nested callbacks make the code hard to read, and its maintenance also becomes quite hard, and this multiple nested callback is also known as pyramid of doom. So now I'm going to show you what callback hell is with the help of a program. Okay, alright guys, so I'm going to take a daily life example for making you understand callback hell. Okay, so we all have used Naukri.com or any other job site, right? Now on these job site, when we upload our resume, right, then we have some following steps, like suppose step 1, upload photo. Then your step 2, upload resume. Then in your step 3, upload cover letter, right? Then step 4, submit your details, and your last step, submit application. Right, so you can see that all these steps are nested, and we will try to write a JavaScript code, kind of dummy JavaScript code for this process. Okay, and we will see callback in that code. Alright guys, so now write the code for callback help. Okay, so I'm taking a function submit application. Okay, and inside it passing a parameter steps. Okay, now here I can give a statement console.log step completed. Okay, and now I will call this is function submit add, and I will pass here 1. Okay, and before this I can write some statement like step, then if I am passing 1 here, so it will append 1 here, so we can say step 1 completed. Okay, now if we run this, so you can see here the output is step 1 completed, right? So same way we can pass multiple steps by calling this function. Now if we run it again, so you can see step 1 completed, step 2 completed, step 3 completed, and so on, right? So this is just a simple function of submitting application on a job site, and it is showing some step like 1 2 3, but you can see all these steps are coming instantly, right? Whereas in our real life application we have some delay of time between step 1 to step 2 and so on, like we upload photo, then after some time we upload our resume, after uploading the resume then we upload our cover letter, and after that we enter our details, and then we submit our application, right? So to simulate that process I'm going to use set timeout. Okay, inside submit app, so I am removing line number 2 now, and I will use set timeout. Okay, so that there is some delay between step 1 then step 2 and so on. Okay, and what I want is when I submit step 1, okay, so when step 1 is completed then my step 2 get start. So in this current application क्या हो रहा है, step 1 2 3 इंस्टेंटली हमारे प्रिंट हो रहे हैं, राइट, एज ए आउटपुट। और मुझे क्या चाहिए, स्टेप 1 कंप्लीट हो, देन आफ्टर फ्यू सेकंड्स स्टेप 2 प्रिंट हो, ओके, एंड आफ्टर फ्यू सेकंड स्टेप 3 प्रिंट हो, राइट। सो उसके लिए आई विल यूज सेट टाइम आउट। सो लेट अस राइट द कोड हियर, सेट टाइम आउट, ओके, एंड इनसाइड इट I will pass one arrow function inside it, and here I will write our console statement, console.log backtick, then inside backtick I will write step, okay, colon, then dollar sign, then curly brace open, and I will pass here steps, okay, then comma and completed, okay, semicolon in the last, and after curly brace I will write delay of 3 seconds and semicolon in the last. So this is set timeout. Now when I will run the program, okay, so let us run it. So you can see after 3-second delay I have all these steps, right, 1 2 3. Now what I want is when step 1 is completed, then after 3 seconds I want step 2 to be completed, and after 3 seconds step 3 to be completed, right? So for that I have to call back my this function every time after 3 seconds, right? So what I will do, I will pass one more parameter which is callback, okay, and I will call back it here. And now I will remove this, and inside submit app I'm going to use nested callback now. Okay, all right, so now I will use nested callback. So inside submit app I'm passing one which is argument for parameter steps, okay, and then I have to pass the callback function. So what I will pass, comma, and then arrow function, and here I will write the statement console.log. okay, so I will write here photo uploaded. Okay, so now we will write our next step, submit app to. So submit app, and we pass second step. Okay, then our arrow function, and here we will pass console.log statement resume uploaded. Okay, so if we run this, see, after 3 seconds we have step 1 completed, and after 3 seconds we have step 2 completed, which is resume uploaded, right? Now we will write our step 3. So again, simply copy paste this much of a statement, okay, and here we have step 3, which is cover letter uploaded. All right, so if we run it, so after 3 seconds we have step 1, then step 2, and then step 3 completed, cover letter uploaded. Now if we write our submit app step 4, so copy paste, and we can write here step 4 application submitted. Okay, so if we run this, after every 3 seconds our steps are getting completed. So 1 2 3, step 4 completed, application submitted. Okay, so now you can see here that in this code we have a nested form of callbacks, right? In submit app 1 we have step 1 and then a callback function, okay, which is an arrow function. So when step 1 gets completed, then, well, so here's the code for submitting an application on any job site. Okay, so I have used just a dummy application, okay, to make you understand the callback help. So in real life scenario, when we upload photo, right, then it takes some time to get it upload on the server. So for that I have used set timeout to show you the delay of 3 seconds. Okay, so in this program you can see on left side we have a kind of pyramid, right? So this nesting of callback gets started increasing, which we called as pyramid of doom. Okay, so here is the code, and those who are seeing it for the first time, maybe they can't understand it. Okay, so it's okay, you don't have to worry all about, because everything comes with patience. Okay, so watch it 2 or 3 times and then you will understand this nested callback. So we can comment here nested callback. Okay, and this is just the dummy application, but in real life we have a lot of huge applications, right? So we will have more than this lines of codes, and therefore to overcome all these problems we use promises and async await. So now let us see what promise are. Alright guys, so here is the definition for promises. So let us read it. Promises is an object, okay, representing the eventual completion or failure of an asynchronous operation. Okay, it allows chaining and better error handling compared to callback. So as I have told you earlier that promises are better than callbacks. Okay, so if we have to create a promise, then we create it like this: const promise equals new promise, and here we have 2 parameters, resolve and reject. Okay, and promise is a class, so with the help of this class we create object of this promise class. Now here resolve simply means that if your promise is fulfilled, then you will get the outcome of your execution, and if it gets rejected, then you will see the error for your reject case. Okay, and here eventual completion simply means that this resolve has 3 states. Okay, 3 states. So the first one is pending state, then is your fulfilled state. If the code runs successfully, then it is fulfilled state, and the last one is rejected state. If there is any error, then code will get reject. Okay, Now one more important thing about promises are immutable. Okay, immutable means suppose if promise is in fulfilled state, okay, then you cannot change the state from fulfilled to pending state. Okay, you cannot change this. Okay, if suppose it is in rejected state, then you cannot change your promise state to fulfilled state. Okay, so once you get your promise resolved, right, then it will be handled for further execution. Okay, alright guys, so now let us see the code for promises. Okay, so in the same program I will convert this program using promise. Alright guys, so here is the code and I'm going to comment this out. Okay, so now let us create a promise and see how we create a promise. Okay, so I'm going to write a very simple function which will show us all the three states of promise. Okay, so first we see the basic of promise and then we will update our this submit app program using promise. Okay, so const my promise equals new promise. This is how you create a promise using new, then semicolon in the last. Okay, now here the important thing is in promise we pass a single argument, okay, which is a function. So we pass a arrow function here and this arrow function has two parameters, resolve and reject. Okay, so कुछ लोगों को confusion रहता है, so clear it. We pass in promise a single function and this function has two parameters, resolve and reject. Now we call this single function as executor function. Okay, so here I am going to create a simple logic. So let us see that. So I am taking a variable, let success equals true. Okay, so I have taken a variable and assigned value true to it. So this is a boolean variable. Now to show you asynchronous operation, I am going to use set timeout. So set timeout and inside it I am going to pass a simple arrow function. Okay, and I am giving it a delay of 3 seconds. Now the logic here is if success is true, okay, then what you do, resolve success confirm. Okay, else reject failure confirm. Okay, so this is the simple program for using of promise. Now let us run this, see the output. So let us see the output now. So if I write my promise here, you can see state is fulfilled and its value is success confirm, right? Why? Because success equal to truth, right? So we get resolve output, right? Now if I change this true to false, save it, and again, now you can see state is rejected and reason failure confirm. Okay, so with the help of this program we can understand how promise state changes. When promise is resolved we get fulfilled state and when promise is reject we get rejected state. Okay, and for pending state, if I refresh it, okay, and show you the promise, you can see it is pending, right? But again if I enter, now you can see state is rejected. So for 3 seconds here I have given a delay of 3 seconds. Okay, so for 3 seconds it was in pending state, but after 3 seconds you get the output as failure confirm. Okay, now let us update our program submit app. So in the current code we have resolve and reject, two parameters to handle the promise, right? So when success is assigned to false we have a reject case and when success is assigned true then we have a resolve. So to handle this resolve and reject we have two methods of promise which is then and catch. Okay, so if we have fulfilled state then we use dot then method, okay, to handle the promise, and if we have reject state then we have dot catch method to handle the reject of promise. So now let us see the whole program for this. Well, here is the code and now I'm going to update our submit app using promise. So comment this much of code and uncomment this code, remove this callback from here because we are going to use promise. Okay, so here we will return new promise. Okay, now the question arise here is why this submit app is returning us a promise. Okay, see in the above code here I have created promise object so that we can understand what promise is and what are its three states. Okay, pending, fulfilled and rejected. Therefore I have created promise object by my own. Okay, but in real life applications when we have to do API request, okay, then promise will be written by the API that okay, let me process the code and I promise you I will return you the result. Okay, therefore I am using written here for promise. You can understand this with the figure also. Suppose this is your submit app, okay, and now you do the request to API सर्वर, ओके, कि मुझे कोई डेटा फेच करना है या कोई फाइल अपलोड करनी है. सो API सर्वर क्या करेगा? इट रिटर्न्स यू द प्रॉमिस. ओके, आई विल रिजॉल्व योर request. Now background में these conditions will be going on. Either your promise will be fulfilled or it will be rejected. Okay, अगर fulfilled होंगी then dot then method will handle the result, और अगर rejected होंगी then dot catch method will handle the result. Okay, so now let us see this, and now here we will use resolve comma reject parameters. Okay, now we are using arrow function, okay, and inside arrow function we are placing all this code set timeout console.log, and instead of callback we will use resolve here. Okay, remove this curly brace and simple bracket from here and paste it here. Okay, so we have updated our first part of submit app. Now here is the nested callback, so I am going to write here submit app 1. Okay, so I have passed the parameter value 1. Okay, and now I am calling promise method dot then. Okay, inside dot then I am passing one arrow function console.log photo uploaded. That's it. So if we run this, here is the output. Step 1 completed and photo uploaded, right? So it is much easy than this nested callback. As you can see, we have a lot of nesting here, but in this you simply call your function and use dot then method to handle the resolve states. Okay, now if we have to use rest on these steps, so we can simply copy this, and here in then method we will return our submit app 2. Okay, and paste the code here dot then instead of photo uploaded resume uploaded. Okay, then again copy this and return your submit app 3 step. Here you can change to cover letter uploaded. Okay, copy this again, paste it and change this to application submitted, and remove this from your last step. And if there is any error, you can pass catch block and one arrow function which will hold the error. Okay, so you can log here some statement console.log error. So this is the use of promise. Okay, and you can see that this is much easier than use of this nested callbacks. यहाँ पे कितने सारे brackets and कौन सा bracket किसके अंदर है, we cannot identify in a one look, right? So if we use multiple callbacks like this, then that will be more tough, whereas using promise is much easier. We simply call our submit app function with the step, and then we have its method then to handle our resolve results. Okay, so if we run this, here is the output. Step 1 completed, photo uploaded. Step 2 completed, resume uploaded, and so on. Now let us see the same code with the use of async await, and it will become much easier than the promise one also. Okay, all right, so let us see what async and await is. So comment this whole code, and first let us see a simple async function. Okay, so we use async word before any normal function. Okay, and this function simply logs some statement like console.log hello class. Okay, so this is your async function, and now call this function my message. Okay, now run this. So here is the output, right? Hello class. And if I called my message function, then you can see it is returning me a promise. Okay, its state is fulfilled. So when we write async keyword before any normal function, it returns us the promise. Okay, so you can comment here return the promise. All right class, so this is our async function, and as we have seen that async function returns the promise, right? So it means we can use promise dot then method here. So let us try to use that also. So here I will write my message dot then. Okay, and inside it I will pass one arrow function. Okay, and let us remove this console.log from here and use return. Okay, so this async function, my message is going to return us hello class, and this hello class will be wrapped in a promise, right? So we are going to handle that promise result resolve with dot then method. So here we will pass variable result, and here we can use console.log and pass result in console.log. Okay, so this will give the same result hello class. Okay, so if we run this, so you can see here is the output hello class, right? It means with async function we can use promise dot then and dot catch method also. Now what is happening here is, since we are getting a promise from async function, I have used dot then on this my message function to handle the resolve. Okay, and here in dot then I pass a callback function. Okay, so this is a callback function. So this callback function will be called when our promise will be resolved. Okay, so जो हमारा डॉट देन मेथड है ये इस कॉल बैक फंक्शन को एग्जीक्यूट करेगा जब प्रॉमिस रिजॉल्व होगा, एंड व्हेन प्रॉमिस विल रिजॉल्व, सो जो वैल्यू आएगी वो रिजल्ट पैरामीटर होल्ड करेगा. ओके, एंड देन इट विल बी यूज्ड बाय द कॉल बैक फंक्शन बॉडी and we will get the result hello class. Okay, now let us use await in our submit app and see how easy it becomes to use async await in asynchronous programming. Okay, alright guys, so before heading towards the program, let us see some theory portion. Okay, for async and await. So in async function, an async function is declared using the async keyword, which we have seen. Async function always return a promise even if you don't explicitly return anything. Okay, if you return a value from an async function, all right, the promise will be resolved with that value. Okay, like we have written in our program, if an error is thrown inside an async function, the promise will be rejected with that error. Okay, now let us know about await keyword. So await keyword can only be used inside an async function. Okay, so you cannot use await outside the async function. Remember this. Now what is the use of await? It pauses the execution. Okay, so it pauses the execution of the async function, waiting for the promise to be resolved. So जब तक promise resolve नहीं हो जाएगा हमारा async function pause रहेगा. Okay, when the promise is resolved, value of the promise is returned. Okay, जैसे ही promise resolve होगा उसकी value हमें return होगी and the function continues executing. So जो rest of the function होगा वो execute हो जाएगा. If the promise is rejected, the await expression throws the rejected value. Okay, and the function stops executing. Alright, so this was the theory for async and await, and now let us see our program. So this is our simple submit app function. Okay, which simulate a process of submitting our resume on any job site, right? So इसमें हम लोग एक promise return कर रहे हैं which will either resolve or reject. If it is resolved, then we are going to make a async function, okay, which will handle our all the steps of submit app. Okay, like photo uploaded, resume uploaded, and rest of all these steps. Okay, so let us make one more function which is async function submit application. Okay, so this is our async function submit application. So जब हमारा submit app function call होगा then it will return a promise. So जब तक promise resolve नहीं हो जाता है तब तक function का execution पॉज रहेगा. ओके, और उसे पॉज करने के लिए हम लोग async submit एप्लीकेशन के अंदर await कीवर्ड का यूज करेंगे. सो await then your submit app. ओके, and step 1, alright, semicolon, then is your log message. So console dot log photo uploaded. Okay, alright, so we are getting some red line unexpected keyword. और okay, यहाँ पे हम लोग फंक्शन लिखना भूल गए. So async function submit application, simply use await keyword before your function which you have to call for asynchronous operations. Okay, now see it is very easy. Next step के लिए हमें बस await submit app pass the next step. Okay, and semicolon, then again console dot log and your next statement resume uploaded. So now you can copy paste this and you can see that it is much easier than callbacks and promise. Change the steps 3, step 4 and change the statements here, cover letter uploaded, right, and last step application submitted. And now call your submit application and run the program and So you can see here is the output which we are getting after every 3 seconds, right? So if you compare this code of async await nested chaining with the promise chaining, so you can see the difference. So suppose you want to handle error for this async function, then you can simply use try catch block and put all this await code inside try block, okay, and use catch block for handling the error. So console dot error, and here you pass error, okay. So if there is any error, this will be handled by this catch block. So save it and run it again. So you can see the output. So this was all about callback, promises, and async await. So watch this tutorial, and at first, and this topic is quite hard than the rest of the topics. So you have to watch it multiple times to understand the concepts and how I have used these topics in this program. Okay. And if you have any doubt, then please do comment in the comment section and try to do the practical by writing the codes. So मिलते हैं next tutorial में. Till then, goodbye and thank you.